The voice of the Cayman Islands, Radio Cayman.
We love our listeners.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking and pension needs, call or visit a Fidelity branch today. Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. And Cayman Pharmacy Group, with locations in West Base and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. And Seaboard Marine. With over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling Seaboard Marine at 949-4977.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record. Today is Wednesday, the 10th day of October 2018. I trust that everyone had an enjoyable evening, restful evening as well, and that you're raring to go today. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you happy birthday, and we'll give a special shout out, just like Miss Susan did earlier this morning, to Miss Lisa Gold on her birthday as well. And while I'm giving a shout out there, I'd like to give another family shout out to Miss Amy Gold as well, my good friend Miss Amy Gold, and wish for her a beautiful day as well. We know that they're regular listeners to Radio Cayman, so I'm sure that they're listening into this. So for Lisa, happy birthday, and just another good day for Miss Amy Gold as well. I want to thank you, our listening and viewing audience, for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, whether it be an office cubicle or if you're working in the outdoors. I need not tell you that For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 9:30 a.m. Our phone lines are always open. There's always someone there waiting to take your calls. Normally, that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number is 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and the 949-6990. If you don't like to talk on the telephone, you can email us at For the Record. That is one word, For the Record, at CANDW.KY. We also have a WhatsApp number. That WhatsApp number is 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show as well. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman, a live stream. I also want to remind you that For the Record is brought to you by Cayman Airways. Cayman Airways are now offering daily non-stop flights from Grand Cayman to New York City starting this December. So you can fly directly from Grand Cayman to New York City and vice versa, from New York City directly to Grand Cayman, non-stop direct flights in starting this December. So if you're interested, and you should be, because New York is a real exciting place to be, and if you're in New York, Cayman Islands in winter in December is the optimal place, the best place in the world to be in December as well. So if you're interested, call Cayman Airways reservation at 949-2311. contact a travel agent or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your flights today as well. So there you are. Cayman Airways offering quality, premium, sterling service to New York and other destinations as well. But this particular one, starting in December, to New York and from other destinations also. Today, of course, is Wednesday, and Mr. Kenneth Bryan was scheduled to come on. He's on every other Wednesday, so we're expecting Mr. Bryan to be on the show this morning. Meanwhile, what we're going to do is we're going to have open mic until such time as Mr. Bryan arrives. So many things to talk about, so many things happening in the Cayman Islands. I saw on social media this morning, it appears as if the shareholders of Cayman National Bank, Cayman National Corporation, have voted overwhelmingly to accept the offer by Republican Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados Limited, to accept their offer of $6.25 US per share. So it appears as if, without any other stumbling blocks in the way that will occur, there have been mixed reaction to that on social media so far as well. What else is happening? We see there will be a Starbucks opening in Camana Bay as well. Some persons have responded to that. It seems as if some company called Café del Sol, not sure whether or not it is Caymanian owned or what, but the location that they're occupying will now be occupied by Starbucks. Cayman Islands, a changing environment. Things are changing rapidly here in the Cayman Islands, whether it be for the good or the bad. Only time will tell. Some people will take out their crystal ball and tell you right now it's not for the good. And some people will say it's just the way the world is going. Change is always going to take place as well. And there is an interesting story in the Cayman Compass this morning pointing out that the Grand Court will review government hiring dispute. I want to talk a little bit about that as well, because I'm of the opinion that it does have constitutional implications, and we constantly have heard Dr. Steve Macfield on this show, whether here as a co-host or calling in as a listener, talking about our Constitution and Caymanians exercising the constitutional rights that they have. There are many people who feel that we have a constitution there, but people, while they may refer to it in general circumstances, are not necessarily taking the advantages and exercising the various rights that they have under the Constitution. So I will read part of this article because I just started reading it this morning and unable to paraphrase everything. So it starts off by saying that the Grand Court will review a dispute between the Minister of Education and the Civil Service Appeals Commission involving a situation where a non-Caymanian was hired to be the ministry's human resource director over a Caymanian who says she was similarly qualified. Now, I'm going to stop there for a second and just insert a little bit of commentary and say that this is not uncommon in the civil service for this to happen, where Caymanians are chosen, non-Caymanians are chosen over Caymanians. We see it happen over and often. We see it happen in situations where there are newly created positions are filled with individuals who may have worked in the area but not necessarily have the relevant experience. And I'm going to say it again here because I this one really, really grieves me. The position of ombudsman in the Cayman Islands, new position being created. We had Caymanians who, in my opinion, I believe were eminently qualified for the post. They were not given that position. The individual who was given it served as a legal advisor to an ombudsman office. Had never been an ombudsman before, served as a legal advisor, was given that position over a Caymanian. So it is not uncommon for that to happen in the civil service, and we have to do something about it. We have to change that culture if we, as a people in the Cayman Islands, are going to move forward. So, the Grand Court will review a dispute between the Ministry of Education and the Civil Service Appeals Commission involving a situation where a non-Caymanian was hired to be the ministry's human resource director over a Caymanian who says she was similarly qualified. The information was made public at a hearing Tuesday for the case, where Justice Ingrid Mangatal noted that the ministry's application for a judicial review hearing was accepted by the court in May. Court records previously not available at the Grand Court Registry were also provided at the hearing, shedding more light on the dispute that has taken place behind the scenes for more than a year. So it appears here that the Civil Service Appeals Tribunal ruled in favor of the Caymanian applicant who was passed over for the job by a non-Caymanian, given to a non-Caymanian, and that the Ministry of Education then sought judicial review on the Civil Service Appeals Tribunal's decision. Very interesting. In September 2017, after the non-Caymanian was hired to be the ministry's HR director, the Caymanian applicant took her case to the Civil Service Appeals Commission, arguing that the ministry had acted unfairly or in a biased manner in making the hiring decision. Good for you, Caymanian, deciding to challenge the powers that be when that Caymanian felt that she had been wronged. On December 20th, 2017, the Appeals Commission, chaired by former Deputy Governor Donovan Ebanks, agreed that there was evidence that the ministry acted unfairly towards the Caymanian job applicant during the selection phase of the recruitment process. The commission ordered that the Caymanian applicant be offered the post as of February 15, 2018, and that she receive additional compensation for pay she would have received if she had been hired for the human resources job at the date it was first awarded in late September. The Appeals Commission also ordered that the non-Caymanian be removed from his position effective February 14, 2018. I will pause there again for a minute. You will note that I pointed out that this application for judicial review was made by the Ministry of Education. That is the ministry who decided to hire the non-Caymanian over the Caymanian applicant. And you can see why such action was taken, simply because based on their initial decision to hire the non-Caymanian, they now were put in an unenviable situation whereby they already had contractual obligations to the non-Caymanian that they had hired. I'm sure that by then an employment contract had been agreed upon, whether or not there were decisions that they could make within a 3-month period that would not have put them in financial obligation to pay them for the full term of the contract or what, but it seems as if in trying to protect their position, the Ministry of Education then sought this judicial review. In its decision, the Commission expressed disappointment in the former Education Ministry Chief Officer, Kristen Suku, for failing to acknowledge or reply to the requests of the Commission to provide a detailed response answering the allegations made by the Caymanians in the submission. The Commission stated that it sent an email and made 2 calls to the office of Mr. Suku, who has since been transferred to the Utilities Regulation and Competition Office, OFREG, but never received a response. So the ministry never responded to the Appeal Commission's, Civil Service Appeals Commission's request for them to reply to the allegations that were made by the aggrieved Caymanian applicant. However, Mr. Suku claims in a judicial review application against the order that he did not see the email sent to him until he received a copy of the Commission's decision on December 21st. He also said he checked his voicemail and did not find any messages from the Civil Service Appeals Commission according to the judicial review application. The notice of appeal, the appeal bundle, and related documents ought to have been served on the ministry by leaving a hard copy with the chief officer at his office or by service upon the chief officer through the post. Judicial review application argues. So they argue that that should have been done. The risk of an email going unseen is too great, as in the case causes uncertainty. So they seem to be relying on the fact that the service of the appeal bundle, was a part of their legal argument as well. We have to take a break now because I've reached that point. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to return to this article on the Caymanian campus because it is extremely important that people understand what is going on here, and maybe this story will certainly prompt others who feel that they have been aggrieved to take appropriate action. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the historical vignette series, sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas. William Banker Ebanks, 1882-1979. William Banker Ebanks was a seaman, steward, farmer, and carpenter, specializing in boat building, roofing, cisterns, coffins, and wood finish, as well as detail work. He sharpened tools with a specialty in saw repairs. He built the schoolhouse on the hill in Bosun Bay, West Bay, and was a member of its council. He also built the first Chapel Church of God on Town Hall Road, West Bay. He assisted with the construction of the West Bay Town Hall. He was the only dentist in the district for many years. Mr. Ebanks was a caring man who helped and shared with those who were less fortunate. He and his wife, Christabella Nee Parsons, had 7 children.
Radio Cayman's historical facts vignettes are proudly brought to you by Cayman National, with branches on all 3 Cayman Islands. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
I need a bank that is convenient for me.
What do you mean?
I need a bank that has easy to find locations and plenty ATMs when I need cash on the go.
Oh, well, that's easy. You need to bank with Cayman National. They have 7 customer service centers and 23 ATM locations. The newest one is at the East End Post Office, and I hear there's more to come.
Well, sounds like I need to bank with Cayman National Bank, the convenient bank, because they seem to be everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Cayman National is everywhere. Surely they are Cayman's convenient bank.
Cayman National Bank. We're here for you.
Oh, my acid reflux is killing me.
Why don't you get something from the grocery store?
I need something better than any generic quick fix.
You should go to West Bay Pharmacy and have a brief consultation with the pharmacist. I went in last week and within minutes I was back in the car and on the road. And you know what? No more acid reflux.
How long did it take you?
Minutes. Here, give them a call at 945-0777.
West Bay Pharmacy is just around the corner with everything you need in the hours you need it. Visit us today for fast, efficient, and professional service. We are here as a team to assist you while taking care of your health. Call us today or visit our website at CaymanPharmacy.com.
You remember the sale at Vamped Motors?
Yeah, the Your Sale, Your Choice, the one where you can get cash back or can put the savings to extend the warranty or upgrade features?
Yes, it's still going on, but now you can get $8,000 off a new Ford Ranger truck. $8,000, you know?
You for real?
Come see for yourself while they still have so much to choose from now through October. Save big during Your Sale, Your Choice at Vamped Motors. With almost every vehicle on sale, you decide whether to get your dream ride at its lowest price. Take cash back. Add years to the warranty or service plan. Choose an add-on or mix your options. Your sale, your choice, because you know what you need, and Vamped Motors will help you drive it home. Vamped Motors on Walkers Road.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Can you explain what a less than container load is for shipment and what your minimum charge is?
Sure. A less than container load, or LCL, is any overseas shipment that does not require the full space of a container. At Seaboard, we have great rates for small packages. Just let us know the dimensions of your package and we'll help you out from there.
Shipping shore to shore.
A trip to New York City is the experience of a lifetime. Starting this December, Cayman Airways will be offering daily non-stop flights from Grand Cayman to New York City. That's right, Cayman Airways is going daily to New York City starting this December. Stroll through Central Park or take in the bright lights of Times Square, enjoy a Broadway show, or visit museums, the Empire State Building, and so much more. Whether you're visiting for business or pleasure, you'll fall in love with New York City. And daily non-stop flights from Grand Cayman aboard Cayman Airways starting this December. For details and to book, call Cayman Airways reservations at 949-2311. Contact a travel agent or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Excuse me, I noticed you from afar.
Really? Me?
Well, not you. The KFC sandwich you're eating?
Oh, Zinger.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it's called the Zinger Sandwich. Crunchy, juicy, 100% chicken breast, crisp lettuce, sweet mayo on a seeded bun with a little zing. KFC's chicken is not factory breaded, frozen and refried like the Burger Boys. Customize your KFC Zinger and dip it in barbecue sauce.
Wow, now I'm starting to notice you too.
KFC, it's finger licking good.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record, with your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I want to finish talking about this article in the Cayman Compass, Grand Court Rule Review, Government's Hiring Dispute. So these proceedings were, it appears, was just a case management issue that was being argued in the court at this point in time, because there were arguments about the service of the bundles, and the lawyer who represents the Civil Service Appeals Commission, Kirsten Horton, pointed out that her client, which is the Civil Service Appeals Commission, is not a court of law and therefore not bound by Grand Court rules, but goes on to point out that, but even without Mr. Suku's response, the Civil Service Appeals Commission should not have made the ruling in favor of the Caymanian. This is the government's argument now. It says the judicial review application argued that this is because the commission should have considered the ministry's interview panel report, which is normally done by those. A panel report is made because there's a panel that is put together to interview job applicants, which noted that the Caymanian did not have the required experience in managing large HR teams or in-depth knowledge of budget management, in contrast to the non-Caymanian who had such experience according to the application. The director of HR for the ministry must be capable of managing the entire HR function with all of its complexities in the largest ministry of government, placing that person ultimately in a position to be responsible for recruitment, strategic HR, and operational HR for over 1,000 staff and managing a core team of employees. The application states, adding that removing the current non-Caymanian HR director from his post would amount to a breach of contract. Like I said, and I hadn't even read that far before, but I figured that was part of why they were vigorously defending or challenging this decision by the Commission, which would have significant legal financial implications since the termination would be without cause. Okay. We have our guest in the studio, so I'm not going to go any further with this at this point in time, only to say, my question here, we're going to end with that paragraph. If this Caymanian applicant for the job was not qualified in the first place, didn't have the experience in the first place, why did they place that person on a short list? Why did they put them through the interview process? They could have simply said, thank you for your application, but unfortunately, you were not shortlisted. So why were they shortlisted? Why were they given an interview? Was the whole process a farce? Was it a farce? To simply say, yes, we did interview Caymanians, but they weren't qualified. You only shortlist people, individuals, that you feel that fit the bill, that persons have all the requisite experience, qualifications, and everything else. Those are the people that you shortlist. You don't take someone who you know that isn't going to fit the bill and shortlist them just to say this is the case. So either that whole application process, that whole interview process was a farce, because the argument here points out they now admit that this person didn't have the qualifications and experience. How come they didn't know that when they were looking at the application and deciding to shortlist? But this is what happens sometimes in the civil service. Not only in the civil service, but in the private sector as well, where you know someone, somebody else knows someone else, and you are earmarked for the job long before the interview takes place. So they're just simply going through the motions at that point in time. I rest my case there for now, folks, but we will come back to this at some point in time. And for the record, it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Mr. Kenneth Bryan. Mr. Bryan, good morning, sir. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC, and good morning to the listening audience out there in Cayman and Cayman Bracken across the world. I know you guys are going international now with your streaming and all the like, so we have to definitely say hello to those persons. I want to thank God for a lovely, beautiful day here in the Cayman Islands. We know that the United States is going to be seeing some rough weather this morning. Thankfully that we're all okay here.
Okay. We have about a minute left, so very quickly, if you can tell.
Yes.
Let's,
we're going to be talking
to our audience in terms of what we're going to be talking about.
We're going to be speaking about my public meeting coming up on Thursday, which is tomorrow night at the Georgetown Town Hall. We'll be having a meeting about the cruise, piers, and cargo project proposed by the government. I have invited the Honourable Minister of Tourism, Moses Kilkernel, as well as the opposition and then you'll also have the opportunity to hear from me on my position on the topic. So it's bound to be rather interesting, a meeting, and I look forward to having particularly all the Georgetown Central persons there, because we are the ones who will be most affected. The port is directly in our constituency. So I want to invite everybody out to that tomorrow at 7:30 at the Georgetown Town Hall. We'll be talking about that. And for those of you who are from Georgetown Central, I want to hear from you today. Take a little minute. When we come back from the news, I want to hear your viewpoints on this. I know we have to go to a break.
Okay. And has the minister and the deputy premier has he accepted your invitation?
Well, we spoke. That he will be there? We spoke, and let's just say it's bound to be exciting tomorrow.
Okay, folks. We're going to our 8 o'clock news at the top of the hour. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Price Right is 8 o'clock.
Price Right. Access. Information. Your community. News and information. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman. Price Right is Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore, making your dollar go further with huge savings and no membership fees. Get more of the things you use every day at the right price. But it's not just grocery and health and beauty. Price Right has a full range of products from office to automotive, patio furnishings to kitchen appliances, and even electronics. And since warehouse prices mean savings for you, everything is priced right at Price Right, Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The Customs and Immigration Departments on Friday celebrated the achievements of a joint class of 15 recruits. As Radio Cayman's April Cummings reports, it's a milestone graduation, as it's the last before Customs merges with the Immigration Department's Enforcement Division in January to become Customs and Border Control.
The 15 graduates were selected from some 400 applicants following extensive testing, interviewing, and background checks, including Interpol checks. 18 weeks of rigorous training followed in various disciplines. The group scored an impressive class average of 86%. Current Minister, the Honourable Roy McTaggart, has some high praise for the achievements of the Customs Department and Collector Charles Clifford, who will also be heading up the new agency.
You see, the Customs Department remains a very large revenue centre for government, and I'm sure you've heard that several times since you started your courses of training as well. Over the last 2 budget years, we saw that the department exceed its revenue projections by $12 million in 2017 and $10 million in 2016. And this in itself is a very remarkable achievement, but it is even more remarkable when you consider that this feat was accomplished by the collective efforts of a staff complement of some 150 people, including the support staff, the members of which are spread between various collection points and offices, such as the airport and the Maine's Customs Collections Office. This achievement also exhibits the tangible and demonstrable synergy between the performance of this department and the objectives of its collector, Mr. Clifford, which continue to correlate under his involved leadership.
Monday marked the successful recruits' first day on the job as full-fledged customs and immigration officers.
Cayman's Protection Starts Here multi-agency working group returns home after putting in the spotlight child abuse in the Caribbean context for the 22nd Annual International Congress on Child Abuse and Neglect held in Czech Republic. The multimedia presentation was made by 3 of the group's members and featured the screening of a local documentary, Unspeakable, confronting child sex abuse in the Cayman Islands, as well as a panel discussion about the grassroots prevention efforts that the group has been tackling since 2012. The documentary was one of 4 media theater presentations accepted for this year's Congress and the only one from the Caribbean. A panel discussion relating to Older Persons Month, respecting the wisdom and value of older persons, takes place in front of a live audience on Monday. The panel represented a wide cross-section of the Cayman Islands seniors community and was moderated by talk show host Sterling Dwayne Ebanks and broadcast live right here on Radio Cayman from Georgetown Town Hall. Panelists were asked how older persons could continue to play a role in society. Ambassador Alex Johnson felt they still had much to offer.
And I feel that if they got the chance to do in the community the things that they're paying younger people to do, we would see a lot more today, because you get more discipline. There's more discipline in the older people towards the younger people. More love is shown towards younger people from the older people. I experience it all the time when I go around.
Panelist Shirlene Enrique says mentoring is an important contribution that older persons can make in the workplace.
There are also younger people who are in positions that they don't have a clue. If they had individuals who are older with them to mentor them, you would get a better product in that individual.
The panel will be rebroadcast on CIG-TV later this month. For a full list of this month's older persons activities, head to radiocayman.gov.ky and check under community events. And Restaurant Month is now in full swing and running through the end of October. Food lovers can enjoy a wide array of options. 24399. Organized by the Cayman Islands Tourism Association, Operations Manager Holly Whitlock says over 15 residents are participating this time around, and you're encouraged to check out restaurantmonthcayman.com to view all the menu options being offered this October. You can also like and share the related posts on Cayman Islands' Tourism Association Facebook page and CEDA's Cayman Culinary Facebook page. And that's your latest news. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's Newsroom.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Explore the past, present, and future of globalization at the 6th Annual Cayman Investment Forum, Thursday, October 11th. Can globalization survive? Are disputes over trade and immigration here to stay? How will geopolitical events affect the world economy and Cayman's financial markets? With keynote speakers discussing these topics, the Cayman Investment Forum gives insight and advantage to the changes in the global financial world. For tickets to the conference on Thursday, October 11th, and for more information, visit CaymanInvestmentForum.com. Discounted tickets available for Radio Cayman listeners. Just register with the promo code MONEYSENSE. That's money, SENSE. One word in capital letters to save 10% off regular ticket costs.
The 2018 Fall Labor Force Survey is currently being conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office ESO. The LFS collects data on the employed and unemployed persons. Trained interviewers with ESO ID cards will visit the randomly selected households in all districts. The interviews are confidential in accordance with the statistics law. No individual data will be published or disclosed. Survey data are exempt from freedom of information. For more details, please call the ESO hotline at 516-3329.
In financial news, global shares were mixed and muted trading today amid continuing worries about trade tensions and a slowing global economic growth. Keeping score, France's CAC 40 shed 0.5% in early trading to 5,292, while Germany's DAX fell nearly 0.3% at 11,943. Britain's FTSE 100 edged down nearly 0.2% to 7,224. U.S. shares were set to drift lower, with Dow futures down 0.1% to 26,456. S&P 500 futures were also down 0.1% at 2,885. Looking at Asia's day, Japan's benchmark Nikkei 225 added 0.2% to finish at 23,506, while Australia's S&P ASX 200 edged up 0.1% to 6,049. South Korea's Kospi lost 1.1% to 2,228. Hong Kong's Hang Seng added 0.2% to 26,225, while the Shanghai Composite gained nearly 0.2% to 2,725. In energy, U.S. crude fell 30 cents to $74.66 a barrel. Brent crude, the international standard, dropped 27 cents to $84.73. And in currencies, the dollar slipped to 113.06 Japanese yen from 113.21 yen late Tuesday. The euro rose to 1.1486 from 1.1437.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all. We got a great deal in store for you.
This October at Kirk Home Center, get grilling with a smokeless grill for $56.49. Save on power tools with Milwaukee's 2-tool combo kits, complete with contractor bags, starting at $235.59. Hang fresh pressed clothes or dry clothes on a garment rack for $27.99 and store away items in an 18-gallon storage tote for $9.69.
Herb's Home Center. You got a great deal in store for you.
Your weather update after 8 is brought to you by Brand Source Home Gallery, creating elegant bathrooms with European-style fixtures and fittings. Babe, not tonight. I need to be rested for all-day meetings tomorrow.
What are you talking about? I was almost asleep.
You keep poking me, and I can't sleep.
That's the mattress spring I keep telling you about. Not me. We really need to get a new mattress.
Tossing and turning, back hurting, can't sleep? It might be time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Browse the huge mattress showroom at Brand Source Home Gallery and pick the perfect mattress today. With mattresses to suit every budget, Brand Source Home Gallery stocks a wide selection of sizes and styles like pillow top and gel memory foam. So stop tossing and turning and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Pleasant good morning. Time now for the latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 91%. Barometric pressure 29.86 inches and rising. The wind is southeast at 6 knots. Overnight low temperature was 82 degrees. Synopsis indicate remnant cloudiness and showers associated with Hurricane Michael will continue to influence the Cayman area for the next 24 hours as it moves over the eastern Gulf of Mexico today. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving towards the north. The National Hurricane Center is issuing advisories on Hurricane Michael, which at last check was located at 29.0 north, 86.3 west. It's about 90 miles southwest of Panama City, Florida. The maximum sustained winds are 145 miles per hour, and the present movement is north at 10 miles per hour. This storm poses no threat to the Cayman Islands. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder. Temperatures will be in the upper 80s today. Your winds will be south to southeast 10 to 15 knots, and the seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet with some swells in the Georgetown Harbor. Tonight, expect partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures will fall to the upper 70s tonight. Your winds will be southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. High tide will be this morning at 10:22, low tide this afternoon at 4:20, and a high tide again tonight at 10. The sun will set this evening at 5 minutes past 6 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:19. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Friday morning. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Update after 8 is brought to you by Brand Source Home Gallery, creating elegant bathrooms with European-style fixtures and fittings.
Good morning once again, and time now to take a look at what's happening on the roads. Busy traffic on the Linford-Pearson Highway and also on Shamrock Road. And just to let you know, all motorists should be aware that the NRA will be closing the westbound lane of Crew Road at the Silver Oaks roundabout from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. to help facilitate road works. All motorists should plan accordingly and use the Linford-Pearson Highway during these times. Traffic signs will be posted in the general vicinity of the work areas, and motorists are being asked to drive with extra caution and obey all instructions. Taking a look at what's happening on Cool Road, steady traffic in some sections and busy in other sections. From the West Bay 4-way stop, light to moderate traffic flow in both directions. And traffic steady but flowing on Huldah Avenue. Thomas Russell Avenue, moderate flow of traffic, and Elgin Avenue as well. Godfrey Nixon Way, not looking too bad at the moment, as traffic is light to moderate, as well as Easton Avenue. And into Georgetown on Shedden Road, moderate flow of traffic, and out of Georgetown on Shedden Road, traffic flowing lightly. And traffic is steady but flowing, heading to Georgetown on the West Bay Road, especially in front of the Ritz. And coming from Georgetown, heading to West Bay, traffic moving along light to moderate. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 as we update you on your traffic. Have a good morning and share the road, Cayman Islands.
Rotary Central Music Extravaganza is back. Be a winner this November with your Rotary Central Music Extravaganza ticket purchase of only $25. Win that grand prize of $40,000 CI dollars. Second prize $4,000, 6 $1,000 prizes, and much, much more. Yes, the 23rd Annual Music Extravaganza, Saturday, November 24th, Royal Palms, West Bay Road from 7 p.m. Featuring music by Dr. Bob's Experiment, Fire Squad, and Altered Minds. Only 8,000 golden tickets now on sale through Rotary Central members and Rotary ticket sellers. Rotary Central Music Extravaganza proceeds fund over 50 community inspiration projects. You can be a winner. Your ticket, your chance, your community. Rotary Central Music Extravaganza is back.
In local sports, 3 young Caymanian athletes will compete at the 2018 Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Representing the Cayman Islands are Jordan Crooks in swimming, along with track and field sprinters Danica Lynn and Gary Rankin. They joined around 4,000 other athletes from 205 National Olympic committees at the opening ceremonies last Saturday. Crooks was the flag bearer at the ceremony and was the first into action on Tuesday as he stepped onto the starting blocks for the 50-meter freestyle. On Thursday, Crooks will compete in the 100-meter freestyle. Lynn and Rankin will compete in the girls' 100-meter and boys' 100-meter respectively. Their competitions start on October 12th. In international sports, Belgian authorities say 57 police raids are ongoing in Belgium and 6 other European nations in a vast probe into financial fraud and match fixing in soccer. The federal prosecutor's office says 44 raids are being held in Belgium and 13 more in France, Luxembourg, Cyprus, Montenegro, Serbia, and Macedonia. The prosecutor's statement said a year-old probe into sports shows they had evidence of, quote, suspect financial operations by agents and also brought up indications of, quote, possible influencing of games over the last season. Media say that Maghi Bayat, Belgium's best-known agent, Bruges coach Ivan Leko, and former Anderlecht coach were among those being questioned. The investigation centers on, quote, activities relating to a criminal organization, money laundering, and private corruption.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning, and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, MLA Mr. Kenneth Bryan, and you heard him give you a preview of some of the things that we'll be talking about this morning. I'm going to crave Mr. Bryan's indulgence just to finish the wrap up on this particular article in the Compass about this application for judicial review. It also seems, Mr. Bryan, as if the Caymanian applicant who was aggrieved by this decision may also be submitting an application for judicial review. And Justice Mangatal has actually pointed out that this is an unusual situation in which you have a government entity or officer challenging the decision of another government set up entity. Ordinarily, a judicial review is for the citizen to be protected against the excesses of government. But you have two government entities challenging each other here. And it also appears as if it says that Justice Mangatal encouraged the parties to reach a settlement on the matter. But Crown Counsel Anne Marie Rambaran said that this would be complicated given that the current ministry HR director is already under contract. Well, from my layman's standpoint, if the contract is for 3 years, they may have to pay that non-Caymanian under contract for the 3-year period.
Yeah,
they may have to pay. They may have to do that. Otherwise, I'm not sure that where the Caymanians' position is on this, the Caymanian applicant, whether or not even if they're prepared to go and work for that ministry at this point in time, considering the environment that they're in. But there are other options for them as well. If they're, for instance, still within the government service, and they just give me a second. if they're still within the government service and they're, let's say, now in a position where they're making $60,000 a year, but the contract of employment that they would have been given in the Ministry of Education was for $100,000 a year. There's a $40,000 difference. Then government should seek to settle with them for that $40,000 difference. And if the contract would have been for 3 years, then $120,000, give the Caymanian $120,000 and settle for that, for now. The non-Caymanian who's under contract for 3 years, I don't think that there's any obligation to renew after whatever period of time it is, or any expectation of that of the renewal of that, depending on what they put in the contract. I remember when we were working on the Freedom of Information legislation, we hired a non-Caymanian who had experience in that area, and made it quite clear, and in that contract, that it was for a fixed period of time, and that person was expected to train a Caymanian, and we identified that Caymanian to work with them to train them so that they knew that after their contract was up, they weren't going to be there any longer. So
be
again,
in every contract like
yes,
that.
yeah. So again, they could possibly do that, but they need to do the Caymanian right in this particular situation.
Well, I think OC, you make some very valid points. But the one thing that I am happy to see in this process is the challenge.
Yes.
Because what the challenge does is set a precedent for future scenarios such as this to be used as an example, so we don't have to go to a review again. Also, for the Caymanian in this position, I feel it difficult for that individual on a simple basis that they're challenging the system or the service that they work for. And whenever you challenge your own boss, it creates a very awkward situation to be in, because even if she, or I believe it's a she, wins her challenge, it makes it awkward, because you're saying, okay, well, I think that you're wrong, boss being the system in its totality, and I'm going to force my way in. That's why it's always hard for employees who may be left behind or marginalized in an opportunity to want to challenge it, because you're challenging for the right thing to be done, but what kind of environment are you going to be in afterwards? So I feel it for her, but I think that she's going to help a lot of Caymanians with this challenge for the future.
And the saving grace there is that if the court rules in your favor, then you have the decision of the court behind you. And what the court is saying to the government entity was that you were wrong in the actions that you took in this particular case, that you were incorrect, you were wrong in it, and the court has righted that wrong. No one should take offense when a court makes a rational, reasonable decision and states that in this particular case, you were wrong. You simply admit to it, and what you do is you ensure that it does not happen again.
Yeah, in the future. And it also highlights the fact that, the civil service is not immune from these types of situations. And, it's an operating entity and company quite like any other business in the private sector. But I'm glad to see the democratic process in full swing, and the judicial process, in full swing, and it will work out. And that being said, because it's before the courts, and my position as a legislator, I think I would limit myself in any more comments in the event it may look a particular way. But I'm just happy that the courts will have a decision in short order, so persons in the future can have as Caymanians.
Okay.
But that being said, OC, I'm glad to be on the show. As you know, the big ticket item for me at this particular point is the show on the cruise piers.
The meeting.
The meeting, the show. The meeting that will be coming up tomorrow night at the Georgetown Town Hall. And again, I want to remind everybody, this meeting is to call for the opposition and the Minister of Tourism to be in audience, as well as for me to put my position in respect to where things are at with the port to my constituents. I think it's important that my constituents have an opportunity to hear, see, ask all the different relevant concerns or questions and hear the different viewpoints from all different angles so they can have a good foundation to consider. At this particular stage, I don't think a lot of Georgetown Central individuals are still on the fence, so to speak, in respect to their views or position on it, even though at this particular point the decision is in the hands of the government, and you've heard about the call for a referendum and the like, and we don't know if we're going to be down that road yet, but I want to do my job as a representative to make sure that each and every one of the Georgetown Central persons have information in its totality, differing views.
But you're not limiting the meeting to Georgetown Central. It's open to everyone.
Thank you very much, OC, for highlighting that. This is not only for Georgetown Central, but as a representative for Georgetown Central, I want to make sure that my constituents are aware that this opportunity is going to be presented for them.
Okay, we have one phone call. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC, and I'm Kenneth.
Good morning.
Can you hear me okay, OC? Hello?
Yes, good morning, sorry.
You can hear me okay?
Yes, we are.
OC, can I speak briefly on my call on Monday? I just want to clarify something.
Sure.
I don't know if I can do it, but I have to clarify it. I don't know if you recall when I called on Monday regarding my comments regarding the dock, the birthing facilities.
Right.
I said I didn't have any issues really, but I think my point was I think most of the people that is really upset with the whole thing is because of the unemployment. And my other remark was to the panel there was what guarantee that the Caymanians have that they can get work there. Because if there's a foreign entity that come in and bring and to get this job, they're going to want most of their people working on this site. But Mr. Kirkconnell made a remark and said that most of the people that is at Port Authority is Caymanians. I were not referring to Port Authority. I know that Caymanians, most of the people there are Caymanians, and I wish a lot of the other departments was.
So you were talking about the actual construction of the birthing facility.
That is correct.
Okay.
Apparently, everybody else, that I spoke to, made the comments. They understand exactly what I was talking about. But I don't know. I mean, he's supposed to be a really intelligent man, and I don't see how he could have mistaken that for, people that is working at the port. That was not what I was referring to. I'm talking about the actual construction of the
Question, caller, on the previous work that was done on the dock with Meisner Marine and others. What was the employment like for Caymanians on that project? Do you know?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know, but I think there was quite a few Caymanians. I think Bonner Miles was actually involved in that with his two guys, if my memory serves me. But I don't have a lot of memory about that because it's been quite a while back, and I wasn't specializing or being involved in that field. Now I do quite some coastal work and stuff like that, but at the time I was mainly specializing in roofing and other work like that for McAlpine, but I stopped that. But that was my main concern. So I just wanted to make that clear that it was mainly the birthing facilities that my concern was why the people are upset and frustrated with the dock because they have no guarantee. Looking at the way things are in this country right now, no Caymanians is working. And when I drive around, I mean, there's so much people that is working. There's so much work. Why can't we just get a little piece of the pie? I mean, Stanley Hill, right, that has been in the business for God knows how long, has a good reputation, good quality work, and can't get a job. Bonner Myers and all of these guys, there's definitely something wrong. And I don't think we have ever done anything in this country to deserve this kind of thing. So we just asking the government to look out for the Caymanian people. Don't. I'm not against anybody, but I think in this country, really and truly, we should be first. Anybody else after that, that's fine.
Yep.
But help us Caymanians, please.
Okay, caller, thank you very much for that. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation with MLA Mr. Kenneth Bryan will continue.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Hi, I'm thinking of buying a car from the States. Which port do you ship out of?
Hi, we ship out of Miami, Houston, and Brooklyn. Just let us know your port of choice and we can provide you with a quotation and answer any questions you may have on insuring and protecting your vehicle during its journey.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
A trip to New York City is the experience of a lifetime. Starting this December, Cayman Airways will be offering daily non-stop flights from Grand Cayman to New York City. That's right, Cayman Airways is going daily to New York City starting this December. Stroll through Central Park or take in the bright lights of Times Square, enjoy a Broadway show or visit museums, the Empire State Building, and so much more. Whether you're visiting for business or pleasure, you'll fall in love with New York City. And daily non-stop flights from Grand Cayman aboard Cayman Airways starting this December. For details and to book, call Cayman Airways reservations at 949-2311. Contact a travel agent or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Sometimes things just don't go as planned. That's why you need Contractors All Risk Insurance from Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Ensure you're covered in the event of property damage and third-party injury or damage claims during your construction projects. And with Fidelity Insurance Brokers, you can be sure you are getting competitive pricing and superior customer service. Call us today for a free quote. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Are you kidding me?
What's wrong?
I ran out of my meds and I have an interview in about an hour.
Why not call CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy? They'll be able to help.
You think so?
Absolutely. Their pharmacists are brilliant for fast, efficient and professional service.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. We strive to make your health our concern. We recognize the complexities of pharmaceuticals and the need to personalize your care. That is why we offer personalized one-on-one counseling. Call us today or visit our website at CaymanPharmacy.com.
It is your time, Cayman Islands. Have a voice in the future of Cayman's cruise industry at the opposition's continuing series of meetings. Get accurate information and have your say. Is Cayman maintaining its competitive edge? Is docking more efficient and workable than tender service? What drives passenger satisfaction and return visits? Get the facts and help keep Cayman's cruise industry bright. Join the opposition for Phase 2 of the island-wide meetings at 7:30 p.m. Monday, October 8th, West Bay Primary School Hall. Tuesday, October 9th, South Sound Community Hall. Wednesday, October 10th, the Seafarers Association's Meeting Hall, Prospect. It is your time, Cayman Islands. Your time to have your say. The opposition, safeguarding our future.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record with your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, MLA Mr. Kenneth Bryan. Mr. Bryan.
OC, thanks again. I think it's important that because there's been so much excitement about the meeting. Many people have called me and is so happy to hear that the minister is going to come, as well as the opposition, and have an opportunity to hear both views, as well as my position as their representative in that area about this very important topic. That it's important that I lay out exactly what is going to be expected, because so far it seems like there's a lot of response. A lot of people are going to be at the meeting. This meeting is not a debate. I want to make sure that people understand that. This meeting is an opportunity for dialogue to happen, to do so in a mature way, whereby you allow all viewpoints to be heard, and afterwards have mature banter, if I dare say, where it's not about trying to undermine the other person's position, because there's a difference between dialogue and debate. A debate is trying to win over the other person to say you're wrong and I'm right. That's not what I want to accomplish here. On behalf of my people, I want to have a constructive conversation for all sides to examine what the current situation is, and to say, well, OC, what did you think about that? Well, maybe did you consider this? And I said, I did, and here's the reasons of what happened, and so forth. I've seen in a few situations, in a few meetings, where persons either for or against the port have taken a tune in a delivery in the audience and created a negative environment.
Yeah, very aggressive.
Very aggressive.
And that's sometimes bordering on bullying.
Exactly, and that's not that doesn't help anybody. Ultimately, what the people of the Cayman Islands and particularly my constituents have asked from me is to say, Kenneth, I just want the facts presented in a professional, clean, mature way, and I'm intelligent enough to make a good decision. To say whether there's genuine concerns about this or whether I should give my full support to the government moving forward. And I respect that. And as an independent member, you are open, you have the ability to be able to look at it that way rather than selecting sides. And I think it's important that I offer that option to my people and to everybody in the Cayman Islands. So I think what we're going to accomplish tomorrow night is something that hasn't happened quite often, where we can, because I'm going to narrate or control the environment tomorrow, and I want to invite everybody, but I want everybody to know that this meeting is for Georgetown Central and everybody in the public, but it will not be taken over by negativity either way. I want to give all viewpoints and opportunities to be heard. If there's a constructive question, I want repetition of persons who have ulterior motives to come in there to bully the minister or to bully the opposition leader. That's not what this is about. We expect a positive, mature, open dialogue for us to examine and find solutions. Because what I think could potentially come out of this, and what I want to come out of this, is the minister go, well, I didn't think about that, or we have considered it, and bring clarity to some of these concerns. Because what we want, ultimately, everybody in Cayman, is find the solution. Not about, I'm proving you wrong, or you're wrong. It's about finding the solutions. And I think that's what every Caymanian wants. So as an independent that comes around the principles of what I stand for, I'm not there to be against something just because I'm in opposition, and I'm not there to blindly follow anybody either. So I think that tomorrow's meeting is going to present that. There's so many people who are excited to have this type of opportunity, and I think that tomorrow's show should be positive, and I look forward to hearing from all sides. And I'm going to give some. I've been working on my delivery of what I'll be saying tomorrow, and up late at night. And I want to say to my campaign manager, thank you so much for being there with me in the late nights as we analyze the situation. And OC, I know you know that you know who I'm talking about. So we were up last night. We were up to late last night actually analyzing what the position is, because as an independent, you don't have the luxury, or your mandate is different than that of just simply being in the opposition or being on the government side. There's certain principles of being an independent. You have to have open mind. You have to be measured. You have to be balanced, and you don't play politics, but about finding the best solution for the people. So I've been working on my delivery, and tomorrow night people will get a full analysis of what my thoughts are in respect to this. And you may be interested to hear what my conclusion is. And for my people in Georgetown Central, because there's a lot of seniors who have called me, and I want to thank you guys for giving me the feedback in respect to that. But a lot of them have some questions, and I expect them to come. But, they're respectful seniors. They say, well, Ken, I think you should ask this because this is something legitimate. And they're going to call and probably ask the question. So I'm happy about that, too.
Okay. And you'll probably have a list also for those persons who are unable to be there in person. You may express their concerns or ask questions on their behalf as well.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that, OC, but that's a good idea. Because I really want as many people to come, because there's a difference of asking a question and not being there. The energy and attitude in the room tells a lot as well. You can tell by, if you ask a person a question, what's their facial expressions, how did they say it, and what specific way they said it in, tells a lot about the communication and the information that you're receiving. So I'm hoping that people come and see and feel it for themselves, because a written answer is totally different than how it sounds and looks in the expression in the face. Communication is in many different forms other than the written one and the spoken language. So
and let's talk about the location and the time.
Yes,
and
sorry.
As well.
So the meeting is tomorrow night That's Thursday, the 11th of October, tomorrow night, and it's at 7:30 at the Georgetown Town Hall. We'll be starting sharp. I want to start sharp, so I want everybody to get there as soon as possible. There's going to be loads of parking behind the library because by then everybody is kind of ghost town in Georgetown at this particular point, which we will change in the future, I hope. So there will be loads of parking. There's enough chairs for everybody. I'm going to have some light refreshments, I think, at this particular point, just something for people to drink on, because we don't want to be there forever. We want to get the information out, get the questions, be concise, be to the point, so people can leave with more information. They can make a better analysis, regardless of what the decision they may come to in respect to this very important direction in our road going forward, because we're at the crossroads in respect to cruise tourism. And we have to make sure that we take the right road going that forward. So, and the best way to make sure that we do that is as much information as possible. And that's what I hope to accomplish tomorrow, and I think it's going to be a success. If there's anybody who has any questions in respect to it, please call in now on the show, and I'll be happy to respond to those. But ultimately, it's to give an opportunity for everybody to see things in a more calming environment. What we've had so far is the government side separate and apart, as well as those who may oppose it, whether it may be some members of the opposition. And I must say that there's many members of the opposition who've not necessarily opposed it, but given reasons as to what their concerns are, as well as for particularly, like, say, for instance, the CPR group, whose reasoning behind their concerns is more environmentally based, but support of the referendum so that people can have a choice. But they've all been happening in different silos. We keep on hearing about that within government, to say departments don't work, they work in their own silos, and they need to come together because you'd be better off working that way. Ultimately, this is what I want to try to accomplish, and because I have a position on this too, as on behalf of my people in Georgetown Central. So, merging all of that together in a mature way, we could find a solution, and that's what dialogue does. And as an independent, it gives me a unique opportunity to try to merge that and bring all sides and views together in a mature manner to find solutions, rather than creating what is perceived as the you're right, and I'm wrong. I think we all want to find the solution for this country, particularly in respect to cruise tourism.
Okay, we'll take a commercial break now. When we return, the conversation with Mr. Kenneth Bryan, MLA for Georgetown Central, will continue.
You remember the sale at Vant Motors?
Yeah, the Your Sale, Your Choice. The one where you can get cash back or can put the savings to extend the warranty or upgrade features?
Yes, it's still going on. But now you can get $8,000 off a new Ford Ranger truck. $8,000, you know?
You for real?
Come see for yourself, while they still have so much to choose from now through October. Save big during Your Sale, Your Choice at Vant Motors. With almost every vehicle on sale, you decide whether to get your dream ride at its lowest price. Take cash back, add years to the warranty or service plan. Choose an add-on or mix your options. Your sale, your choice, because you know what you need, and Vant Motors will help you drive it home. Vant Motors on Walkers Road. A trip to New York City is the experience of a lifetime. Starting this December, Cayman Airways will be offering daily non-stop flights from Grand Cayman to New York City. That's right, Cayman Airways is going daily to New York City starting this December. Stroll through Central Park or take in the bright lights of Times Square, enjoy a Broadway show, or visit museums, the Empire State Building, and so much more. Whether you're visiting for business or pleasure, you'll fall in love with New York City. And daily non-stop flights from Grand Cayman aboard Cayman Airways starting this December. For details and to book, call Cayman Airways reservations at 949-2311. Contact a travel agent or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Not all insurance is created equal, but who has the time to shop around? Take the guesswork out of your insurance coverage with Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Let us match you with the best coverage to suit your needs at a price to suit your wallet. Plus, get superior customer service from dedicated claims professionals to ensure speedy claims processing. Get your insurance through Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Call us today at 949-7822 for a free quote. Fidelity, we're good for you.
The NCVO needs your help. Tune in to the annual radio telethon on Saturday, October 20th at 7 p.m. for the best in local entertainment, including C&B, Trinity, Little Magic, Roy Bodden, and High Tide. Call in to pledge any amount or donate online at CaymanGiftCertificates.com to be entered to win over $5,000 worth of prizes. The NCVO's annual radio telethon is broadcasted live from Prospect Playhouse on Radio Cayman and Cayman 27. The NCVO is one of Cayman's oldest charities dedicated to the care, education, and well-being of children and families in need of support. Tune in to Radio Cayman and please help us help our children. The annual Radio Telethon, Saturday, October 20th, 7 p.m. to midnight, live from Prospect Playhouse.
Cruise tourism is a vital part of Cayman's economy. It is the government's responsibility to create an environment where our people can have an opportunity to grow and prosper today, tomorrow, and into the future. It is a myth that Cayman does not need cruise tourism. It is a fact that cruise passengers spend $200 million per year buying services from small businesses, tour operators, attractions, restaurants, and retail shops. Those funds stay right here, supporting our economy and communities. Support the pairs. Support our tourism.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor, continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In studio with me, MLA, Mr. Kenneth Bryan.
Okay, thank you, OC. I just want to kind of close off the topic of the meeting, and I expect everybody to come out tomorrow night. Again, Thursday, 7:30 at the Georgetown Town Hall, talking about the very important topic of cruise, piers, and cargo redevelopment that is proposed by government. All Georgetown Central voters, please, I need to hear from you. I want to hear about those questions. I want to know your positions. For those who haven't said to me already what their thoughts are, it's important that I work on your behalf, and only to do so is to hear from you. So even if some of you are listening now and you want to call in and state your opinion, or you want to call me separately, or you can message me on Facebook and the like, but it's important that we have that dialogue with each other and that communication so I can best represent you. And tomorrow's meeting is one of those ways I'm trying to do so.
But one of our listeners has said, Mr. Kenneth Bryan, I'm an out-of-towner, but I'm coming because I want to be right there to listen to facts. Whether this is going to be good or bad for Cayman, I am still not yet convinced.
Exactly, and I'm so glad that person texted in, because that's a common theme that I'm getting from many of my constituents and many Caymanians across the island. But I think we can get the information that is necessary to get us to a position to decide whatever that decision may be. We have to also remember that the government at this current stage has all the authority that is necessary. There is a call for the people to have a say. We don't know where those numbers are going to be at this particular point. But democracy is in full swing, and I'm happy about that, because what is forced to happen here is for us as a society to be involved in something very important and have, if not a say directly on a referendum or on this decision, but to put the necessary energy in the room that those who are in charge feel it. It's not like the airport where probably people just went off and signed the airport deal and moved on, which is a multi-million-dollar deal. There wasn't much controversy. There was some people saying, we shouldn't have built it, blah, 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 or the money that's involved in it. But this one has sparked the society to think and to be involved and want the information so that they can understand what the future is going to be like in this respect. So I'm excited. I think that is healthy for our society. I think it's good to have dialogue because we are all informed, and also it's a good policing mechanism of the government, the persons who make the decisions on your behalf. And I'm not saying that they need to be policed in a negative way because they're doing anything wrong, but if the pressure of policing is there's a less likely chance that they will do anything that is wrong. So all eyes on the government, all eyes on this decision, and I think it's healthy. But again, please come out Thursday. Everybody's welcome. If you have if you want to call in right now and any more thoughts on this, please do. I'll be happy to respond to them. But for now, the meeting is tomorrow, Thursday, at 7:30 at the Georgetown Town Hall. Myself will be speaking. The opposition leader will be speaking, and the Minister for Tourism will be there as well. So I want to potentially move on to a different topic now.
If I could just before staying on this topic for a minute, the minister for the record on Monday did point out that there is still additional information that they're awaiting from consultants and everything. And once that information is received, then they're in a better position to make a final determination and to disseminate that additional information to the public as well. So I think that should be borne in mind, that it does not appear as if all of the relevant information in relation to the way forward.
I agree with you. And I listened to the Premier and the Honourable Leader, Honourable Deputy Premier, Moses Colonel, keenly on Monday. Matter of fact, I was replaying that sound bite up to last night over and over again to be specific on what he said. And you just highlighted the point that he basically said, the information hasn't come yet, and when we get that information, we'll make the decision. So at this particular stage, the question then comes in is, how can you expect support on something we're not really fully aware of what it's going to be? Because let's
similar could say, how can you oppose?
I agree, OC, and I agree with that. I don't want you to steal any of my speaking points in respect to my speech, but the thing about this is that it is hard for the country to be expected to be in full support or against anything at this particular stage. But because of the seriousness of this matter, we want to know the details. Because let's say, for instance, OC, the report came back and suggested that the port will be $500 million to build. The people will be liable to pay it back if in the event the cruise lines don't come back anymore. The dredging will ultimately damage all the waterfront potentially, as well as the 7 Mile beach, because of the type of design it's going to be. And there's no guarantee that the piers that are built will last more than 20 years. That's just hypothetically. I'm not saying that that's what it's going to be, but let's say, for instance, that's what comes out of the persons who are bidding. Now, most people go, there's no way in the world that we're not going to accept that because of what it looks like. So because until we get to that stage of knowing, it is hard for persons to support that. Much of that has been my position recently. Like, we still need more information, but let's explain to persons exactly how and why that information isn't ready, how and why in that the answers will come, and who will make the decision, because there's a level of trust in this too that is going on both sides, and as well as respect to the government, and I think that they would accept that there's some behaviors that have transpired over the last 2 months that doesn't make people feel comfortable with either side, to say, okay, well, information was one thing one day and information was something else the other day. And naturally, any mature person would be like, okay, you got me confused and you got me a little bit worried. Why would you say one thing one day and then say something else another day? So what the meeting gives an opportunity to is clarity. So we can build back that trust opportunity for what's really happening. Because in the art of debate, and I want to specify the difference between debate and dialogue throughout this, but in the art of debate, your job is to try to show the other person up by any means necessary, sometimes even using a little bit of funny business to make the audience believe that what you actually said was something else. Right?
Or you try to shoot down a point that they have made, you try to shoot it down by countering
with
additional, with other facts.
But you see, it can't be other facts. There's only one set of facts. So this is where the problem comes in.
They're
right?
they're facts,
perceived.
and they're fact of truth.
Okay, fact of truth, right?
Truth.
So what this allows is to clarify and clear up the water, so people can to say, okay, all right, I can understand that, or people can be held accountable to, well, what happened here, why this information is not right, and then we can build back that bond with those who are concerned, those who oppose, and build back the bond with government, because we don't want a situation where we don't even know what's going on. There's many people who go, man, all of this is a bunch of craziness. I don't know who to believe. I don't know who to trust. And we got to get away from that, because ultimately we want to make a good decision, a responsible decision, a mature decision on whether we support this or not. Not necessarily support the dot, but what kind of decision we come to in respect to a contract. So
we have two callers. We're going to try to take one before we go to the headline news. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC and Bryan.
Good morning. Good morning.
Roger Merritt here. Bryan, I wonder if you and OC ever heard the term as calling Grand Cayman a ship. Have you ever heard that term?
Yes.
You heard it, OC?
The good old ship Cayman, yes. Mm-hmm.
Right. It looks like they say West Bay is the bridge and Georgetown is the engine room. Bottom town is the galley, and East End is the bow, and North side is the sail.
Okay.
South Sound Key is the rudder. Cayman back on the lifeboat. Right? Now, how you expect to build a fort up against a ship? That's not going to work. This is a stationary ship. This was made for tendering. The problem we got with the ship is that we got the wrong captain and crew on it. We need to change the captain and crew. Okay? That's the way I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a stationary ship. It can't be moved. And anyway you put a port, you're going to have to do dredging. People talked about the North Sun a few days ago. You'd probably have to at least dredge the North Sun, maybe 8 or 90 feet deep. That might be a wise idea. The only part in North Sun I saw a dredge was up by House Marina. Just off of that, had a little bit of dredging done years ago, but maybe to 10, 15 feet deep for both out of there. But the dredging had went in from the north side into inland, not the North Sound bottom itself. But I can recall, so that's another place. It's just difficult to get a port here. What they really need, they need enhanced spot stop, and they need to do some enhancement with the dock in town, and maybe some better tendering. With more shelter for rain.
When you say enhance sports dock, what do you mean by enhancing? You mean...
the facilities up there need some enhancing, and the pavement on the ground, and the dock itself could use a little bit of expanding, you know what I mean? Take it a little bit further out and tee it off or something. Now, the other dock is very small, and,
Would that involve any dredging?
I would not that dock, not if you go not that far. It would need the water there shallow.
Okay.
When that was built years ago, look, they had big boulders put in the water, and then they poured concrete on top of it. From what I can see with that.
Mm.
But the parking lot needs some upgrading too, and restroom facilities and all that there, and shelter. That's a little bit more upgrading up there.
Yep.
And the tendering in town, I do notice that when people are tendered in the rain, they can't get on those tenders. They need to get some tenders that more shelter, I would think. But that's my view on the dock. It's been happening from the 70s. Been tendering people here. But I just wonder if you all heard that story about Cayman being the righteous ship.
Well, thank you, caller, so much for that. There's another viewpoint that needs to be considered. Maybe some people think that it's the wrong captain that is the reason why we're not moving forward. But in this particular case, regardless, the captain of this ship is the captain of the ship, at least for now. And even though you may not like the captain, we don't want the boat to run ashore. So
no, we can't afford that.
We definitely have to maturely. Sorry, go ahead, caller.
So
say I didn't.
Anyway, I got to go because I got to go to work, so I'll give you all a break.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. Let's see if we can grab the other caller before the break. Miss Susan, caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, O.C. Good morning, Mr. Bryan.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I hear you again. Yeah, sorry, I got hurry again like Mr. O.C. Mr. O.C. always got he hand on that button with me.
well, we have a 9 o'clock headline news, and we have about 2 minutes. But that headline news is very short, so if we have to interrupt you, we can ask you to hold on and then pick up where we left off when we return from the news, if you want to, caller.
Yeah, okay, you can put your hand in the pocket.
Well, go ahead, caller.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, all right. So I was listening to the radio just a minute, and it says that is the government propriety to create an environment where everybody have jobs, right? This is what I just heard on.
You're talking about the advert that was carried on.
Right. Okay, so I would like to know from Mr. Bryan why the government can only see tourism as a place to create jobs. Why?
Okay, that's a good question. We'll have Mr. Bryan answer that for you as soon as we return from the headline news at 9 o'clock. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
Head downtown today to support Cayman seniors. As part of Older Persons Month, there will be a special look-ya at the National Museum, respecting the wisdom and value of older persons. The event is from 3 to 6 along Harbor Drive. Turkish media outlets have published CCTV footage which they say shows evidence of a plot linked to missing Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. It shows purported Saudi intelligence officers entering and leaving Turkey via Istanbul airport. Mr. Khashoggi, a critic of the Saudi monarchy, entered the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on October 2nd and has not been seen since. Turkish authorities say Mr. Khashoggi was killed. Saudi Arabia denies this. And at least 6 people have died and 9 are feared missing in flash flooding on the Spanish island of Mallorca. A huge wave of muddy water engulfed a town in the east of the island after a river burst its banks following heavy rain. Vehicles were swept away, some with their headlights switched on as water gushed through the streets. The Spanish military is deploying more than 100 emergency workers with sniffer dogs. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, MLA Mr. Kenneth Bryan, who represents Georgetown Central in our Legislative Assembly. One more caller before you answer that last caller. We'll just take this other caller as well. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Orrett Connor, and good morning to MLA, Mr. Kenneth Bryan.
Good morning, sir. Nice to hear your voice again.
Thank you. Well, when it comes to the new cruise ship dock, it's not something that is actually wanted, but it's something that is needed for the safety of the passengers and also because of the bigger ships that they're making. There's one thing that brings serious concern to me when it comes to the destruction of the reefs and also digging deeper into our ocean floor in Georgetown. It's my belief that if the dredging does occur in Georgetown, that the sea surge will go further inland. And because of global warming, the tides will rise higher. And that brings even more serious concern for me as a citizen of this country. Because if the seas, if the waves are too high and going too far, it could cause some serious destruction in Georgetown. I hear you all speaking about revitalization of Georgetown, but this pier in the future will cause some serious destruction in Georgetown. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Mr. Bryan, want to respond to both of them?
Yes. I want to say thank you to both callers for calling in first. And I will address the last caller first and then the first caller last. That concern that he brought up about the depths of the dredging has been reoccurring with many persons with me from my constituency and outside of my constituency, and mainly from the old seaman's perspective, a lot of persons who understands the waters and the like. And that's one of the things that I hope that we can have dialogue on tomorrow to see what the government's position is and thoughts about the depth and how that could potentially affect the wave action. I have some thoughts on that, but I'll be sharing that tomorrow night. So for those of you who have concerns about that, you can come tomorrow night and hear what not only my view is, but potentially we have the likes of the Honourable Arden McLean, who will be there with the oppositions, Ezra Miller, the Honourable Ezra Miller, the opposition leader, as well as Mr. McLean, who both have the opposition leader is the leader of the opposition and speak for the opposition members. But we all know Arden is an engineer by first career and knows a lot about this part and can possibly give a viewpoint from the opposition side about the depths of the water. And let's hear what the government says. Has there been any studies in respect to the depth of the waters and how it will affect Georgetown? I have some views in respect to that, and I'll share them tomorrow. And many seniors who know what it was like with the wave actions many moons ago, before we were so much more developed, and what used to transpire with the wave action there. Does that change with the depths of the water? It's a very legitimate question to be asked, and we hope to find that solution tomorrow. So I invite everybody to come to hear that tomorrow. The other part is in respect to the caller asking, is the only thing that the government is interested in creating job opportunities was tourism, or the only thing that they're willing to look into? I don't think that is the case. And he specifically asked me, I've been a proponent for government to diverse the economy and look into different sources of revenue, because we need to not rely only on the two pillars that we currently have. But I must say that I'm happy that there is private Caymanian developers who are creating new pillars, if I dare say. Maybe not as strong pillars today, but I think there will be in the future. Like we all know Gene Thompson has recently formulated and agreed with government to create the tech park, which will create much information and technology-driven opportunities for the Cayman Islands within the future. He's trying to create the foundation, quite almost like what we did in the financial services. When we first started, it was really small, and it grew into something big. And I think there's a great opportunity there for a different source of revenue there. I can't say that the government is going out there and creating anything themselves, but it seems at least they're open-minded to new ideas being presented to them. We know that I campaigned in the past about the potential opportunity for medical research in the Cayman Islands. I think that would have been a great thing, but I think politics got in the way of that, and hopefully we can get to a mature stage where we can actually properly analyze it and see whether it's beneficial to the country again after the politics gets out of the way. But I must say that I think that we are going in different avenues in respect to trying to find revenue. At least that's what I've seen so far. The only new one is the tech park with Mr. Gene Thompson, which I'm happy that he's doing that. You can see that he's trying to build Cayman's economy. But I don't think the government is closed-minded to that. That would be disingenuous of me if I said that, because otherwise they wouldn't sign situations like this with Mr. Gene Thompson. So we definitely need more, though. I'll say that. I'll add that to the viewpoint. We definitely need more sources of revenue because we're at a crossroads with both of our main pillars. Right now, we're trying to decide as a country and as a society about the tourism from a cruise perspective, which is a large portion of tourism in its totality. Trying to figure that out and see what direction we're going to go and potentially whether it will hurt or harm if we don't do it or if we do it. And then we have the financial services where we're having this difficulty with the UK and with the beneficial ownership and public registry. So two of our foundations are currently having some rocky waves. Hopefully the seas will calm and within the next few years as we go through this. But again, even more reason to say it and understand that it's important to have different sources of revenue and not depending so heavily on those. Of course, we continue to help and support them, but just in cases like that spare tire in your car, you want to have other ones going on that create good revenue that we can depend on in the event of something unfortunate happening with any one of those pillars.
Excellent. And talking about creating new opportunities and employment opportunities as well for Caymanians. I want to diverge a little bit, and I see a story also trending now about Starbucks coming to the Cayman Islands.
Yes,
and, possibly opening up stores. And it seems as if the franchisees, the holders of the franchise for Starbucks in the Caribbean, may be Jamaican entities.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to talk about that a little bit because we have had some experiences in the past with Jamaican entities. One, I should say, whether I should say that famous or infamous employer started out by bringing Jamaican nationals to Cayman,
mm-hmm.
working them at a particular location,
mm-hmm.
paying them in Jamaican currency, paying them in Jamaican currency, and many times paying them in Jamaica as well. That was reportedly happening before. Those Jamaican entities that are here now, I'm not sure what's happening with their employment as well, but we have seen a tendency for overseas companies coming to the Cayman Islands, doing business in the Cayman Islands, wanting to bring their non-essential staff to Cayman to work at those locations. Now, we still have unemployed Caymanians, and those need to be looked at first. People in the Cayman Islands need to be aware that Starbucks is an internationally recognized company that has standards and has values, and they're a company that will respond to public outcry and to public sentiment as well. And if any of those entities come to the Cayman Islands and refuse, either tacitly or overtly refuse to employ Caymanians and seek to bring their own nationals here, for those, we need to ensure that we raise our voices, let the parent company, the franchisor, Starbucks, know that we do not appreciate that. We do not want it in the Cayman Islands, so that they can take heed to what the people of the Cayman Islands want. If you're going to open locations here, then first and foremost, you should be looking to hire Caymanians. There are some Jamaican companies in the past that have gone about their business and bringing non-essential staff to the Cayman Islands. And like I said before, there was one company that was reputed to have been paying them in Jamaican dollars and paying their salaries in Jamaica as well. So that's my point.
OC, I think you brought up a very, very important issue in respect to protecting Caymanian job opportunities. But I'm hesitant to talk about an entity and the location where it comes from. Not because I don't think you're justified, but I don't think.
Well, I talk about this one simply because that's where the company, the franchisee,
And what I think we have to acknowledge, though, is just a bad franchise, a malicious employer who take advantage of people and its environment can come from any jurisdiction. And it happens a lot. People have that fear about the Chinese element. We hear about that in Jamaica right now. So to me, it's nothing to do with where they come from, but the entity themselves and their behavior. I think what you're saying is you're fearful of any entity coming here and thinking that they can bring their labor practices that is contrary to Cayman.
To a certain extent, but I'm not going to dodge from the fact that I'm referring to a particular article in the newspaper today and about the Starbucks franchise.
So
I'm talking directly about that.
Okay, fair enough. So what I'll say to this is, right, because I don't want to be accusatory to a franchise that I have not done my research on. I won't think that would be appropriate to do that to them. But what I'll say to this, it is not their. It is really on us to make sure somebody is not allowed to do that. I tell you what, if Kenneth Bryan was in charge of this administration, I can promise you there would be no entity that will be coming to the Cayman Islands to bring any negative human resources attitude or behavior to undermine Caymanians. I'll be the first one to say, listen, pack your bags, time to move out. Now, I do not want to assume that the current franchisees that are coming to Cayman in respect to Starbucks and their products are going to do it. I'm going to assume the positive.
I just wanted to put them on notice.
But that is good. But I don't want to harm their business in any way because I'm assuming there has to be a Caymanian connected to that business in some capacity.
Possibly not, because they can obtain a local companies control license, registered company in the Cayman Islands, local companies control license, and not necessarily have Caymanian participation.
Okay, and you're right about that as well. But one could say that there's opportunities for Caymanians to be employed in the future. So let's stay a little bit positive until that happens. But you are right to say that they have to understand that in the Cayman Islands, our job is to protect Caymanians first, and we have a Caymanian first attitude. At least that's where it should be. I can't mandate that the policing from a labor perspective is done. I can try to question it in Parliament. I can try to give indications to this administration that this is an important matter, but it's up to them to put the mechanisms in place to police that. Now, give credit where credit is due in respect to what's been announced. The administration currently is keep on saying they want to putting more structures in place to police that. Whether it'll work or not, we're yet to see. But at least that's a stage. So I'm going to give them credit for that. So the whole work program and the whole investigative officers looking into bad practices and hiring practices and the like, I appreciate that. But let's see it in its efforts first before we give too much credit. But I at this particular stage, I am hoping that the Starbucks situation is a positive one for Caymanians to get jobs. But you're right. If any entity, regardless of which one it is, do not think that you'll come to Cayman and undermine Caymanians, particularly when Caymanians need work. I agree with that.
Okay. We have 3 callers lined up, and we have a voice note as well. We're going to go to a commercial break. We're going to ask those callers to please hang in there. As soon as we return from the commercial break, we're going to take all of your calls. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
It's an all-white affair by Webster Memorial United Church. Saturday, October 13th at Pedro Castle. A night filled with fellowship, entertainment, and your favorite Caymanian dishes with all the trimmings. All for only $25. Tickets are available at all United Church locations or by calling 526-0444. Don't miss the lineup of Lammy Seymour, Women of Purpose, William White, and Samuel Rose. The all-white affair, Saturday, October 13th at Pedro Castle. Call 526-0444. Or visit any United Church to get your tickets today.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Can you explain what a less than container load is for shipments and what your minimum charge is?
Sure. A less than container load, or LCL, is any overseas shipment that does not require the full space of a container. At Seaboard, we have great rates for small packages. Just let us know the dimensions of your package and we'll help you out from there.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
You remember the sale at Vamped Motors?
Yeah, the Your Sale, Your Choice, the one where you can get cash back or can put the savings to extend the warranty or upgrade features?
Yes, it's still going on, but now you can get $8,000 off a new Ford Ranger truck. $8,000, you know?
You for real?
Come see for yourself while they still have so much to choose from now through October. Save big during Your Sale, Your Choice at Vamped Motors. With almost every vehicle on sale, you decide whether to get your dream ride at its lowest price. Take cash back, add years to the warranty or service plan. Choose an add-on or mix your options. Your sale, your choice, because you know what you need, and Vamped Motors will help you drive it home. Vamped Motors on Walkers Road.
A pharmacy is where you go for medicine and for the pharmacist's advice on how to take them. Here at CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, our pharmacists are trusted health professionals whose job is to help people receive the best results out of their medicine. They know exactly what's in your prescriptions and will be happy to answer any of your questions. You can be sure that our pharmacists will see that your medicine is at the right strength, in the right dose, and will check that you yourself know how to take them or use them properly. Come in today for a consultation with our pharmacist at CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Thousands of Caymanians work in our cruise tourism industry. It is a myth that Cayman does not need cruise tourism. It is a fact that 4,500 Caymanians work in this industry today as taxi and tour operators, boat captains and crew, restaurateurs, retailers, water sports operators, and ambassadors at our attractions. If our cruise tourism industry is half of what it is today, what are we going to do with our people, the thousands of unemployed Caymanians? Support the peers, support our tourism.
Initiating system.
For information that matters, for the record, with Orrett Connor, continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning. We have 4 callers. We're going to ask the callers to be as brief as possible. Before we go to the phone lines, we have one voice note, so we're going to play the contents of the voice note first.
Thank you, O.C. Thank you very much. And good morning, gentlemen. That is going on still to this day, even by new companies that are granted on this island, by those that we gave Cayman status to. If you check it out, there's not one Caymanian working with them. Looks like they're not even interested of training one of us to work with them, but they say they're Caymanian.
Okay, let's go to the phone lines. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record.
Morning, Doc. How are you?
For good, and good morning to Mr. Bryan.
Good morning, Doc.
I just would like to say that we don't need any law to cover Starbucks or anyone who comes in here. I would just like to read for you what the Constitution says, because I have a pocket version of the Constitution. I carry it around with me all the time.
A little red book, huh?
It's a red book. It's that Section 1 of the Constitution of Section 16 says that the discrimination section shall not apply with respect to the entry into or exclusion from or the employment, engagement in any business or profession, movement or residence within the Cayman Islands of persons who are not Caymanians. That's all. It's all there written in the law. And we have the immigration law, and we have the trade and business license law, and we have the local license companies law. We have all the laws that we need. All we need are men of the caliber of Mr. Ormond Panton, Mr. Jim Borden, Mr. Warren Conley, and Mr. Benson Ebanks. I don't see them anymore, and that's.
We lost him for some reason, Ms. Susan. We lost that call. Let's go to the next. Are you there, Doc? We lost you for a second. Hello? Next caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, thanks. I just wanted to touch on this same topic of organizations hiring staff, I guess, to kind of work remotely. You know, just last week, it's quite ironic that someone sent me a message. And this isn't even a Jamaican company. This is a Caymanian-owned company that had a Filipino worker that had been essentially, I guess, rolled over. Or they had to leave for a certain period of time. And they're still doing the exact same work remotely in the Philippines. And I guess there's no law against that. I mean, you know, if they're being paid through a local bank account, then perhaps there's something that can be done. So if the funds are being sent overseas, wired to their account in the Philippines, then it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that our people need to wise up at some level and really comprehend that we live in such a world in this day and age that it's very, very easy to work remotely. I mean, there are times that I'm sitting at home and I'm logging into a computer elsewhere on island or, you know, even halfway around the world. It's not required that you physically be there. There's remote access that gives you a lot of flexibility. Having said that, I think that employers also need to be fair in how they decide to, go after labor from overseas for different reasons. It normally is an economic one. Let's just face it, right? Everyone's looking for the cheapest possible labor, and that often means hurting your own. You know, we saw Cayman National got sold yesterday, and it came down to what? Money. You know, I looked at the director's circular, and the one thing that stood out is, listen, our shares have never been at this price in the 10 years that they've been traded publicly in the stock exchange. You'll probably never see this sort of offer again. This Trinity company, Trinidadian Republic Bank, whatever they're called, appeared to be quite desperate to get a Class A bank license here in the Cayman Islands, and they're willing to pay double the share value to obtain that. So sell your shares while you can. That was the message, that was going out there. And I was really pleased to have heard that people like Alti stood up and really questioned if we were doing the right thing. And if, as Caymanian, had we done the relevant due diligence even on the parties involved in this or the organization and truly questioned their motives as to why they were trying to acquire CNB. Now, of course, the biggest concern is will there be job losses, because CNB has had a stellar reputation over the years for hiring primarily Caymanian staff. I think they're about at like 97%, which is quite high on this island for sure. And so the first question that comes to mind is, how will Caymanians be impacted? And I think we're all being fooled if we believe that some side agreement that might be in place for 12 months or a couple of years is going to offer long-term protection, because those organizations will eventually bring their managers here, and eventually they'll find a way to make sure that decisions are made overseas by persons who have no clue what's even going on in the Cayman Islands. And that's unfortunate. So, we're telling companies of all sizes, small companies, medium companies, oh, you've got to do X, Y, Z in terms of trying to hire and staff because it ultimately benefits all of us. But then we see some of the largest entities on this island with people who are ex-politicians, ex-ministers of education and employment and all sorts of stuff.
Carl, I'm going to ask you to wrap up quickly for me, please.
Yeah, so they themselves can't even do what's being preached because, again, everybody wants that $7 million payout. I'll leave you there.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. We have two callers left on hold. We're going to ask you again, please be as brief as possible. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Just fine. You will see, I didn't know if I was on or not. And Mr. Bryan, that I'm a for.
Good morning, sir.
Stone Central. Good morning. Good to hear you on here, sir. All is good. I'd have to condense what I was going to say or leave out stuff. It's one thing with all that. When we do, and I know I get lambasted for this, but I am adamant about it. When you're trying to run a country without some form of direct income tax, we're very unique in that situation. There comes a time when there's really no control of nothing for these companies to be held accountable for without that very important law in our country. It is very, very important. Those of us who have worked where we realize that there's a control there. When a politician is elected, they become a politician from the start or on, whether they're elected or not. But even when you're there, it is always, and it's no good denying this, we always have to try to look at the next elections. And you're there to try to be there again. And I'm not speaking directly to you, but always the politics will be practiced and it's perennial. And so they're always looking towards, you wouldn't be a good politician to get your agenda done, if you want to call it that, manifesto, whatever. you have to look towards the next time because you won't be able to finish everything. And a lot of politics is going on. I'm a little bit, not a little bit, big bit disappointed. There are so many very important issues. The peer thing is nothing new. It's been around. All other administrations had ideas on it. So the Premier is quite right in his way and the Deputy Premier in putting forward this agenda. A lot of people see good in it. And there's going to be some dredging, whatever you do. I mean, I've dredged a lot in the north, so we can't deny that. I watched it. And there's going to be dredging. So something has to go. But to gain, and that's the decision we make. But that's the type of taxation we have. Enough is never enough. Enough is never enough. When we say enhancing the people's lives, too, we have to think that the salaries have stayed dormant. Let's say in the tourism part of the ordinary little person working at the hotels for about 29 years. So those are the things I think, and the health insurance issue is primary. That is of maximum importance as far as I'm concerned. We have a lot of elderly people who talk to me all the while who simply cannot afford insurance, but they don't want assistance from NAU. They have their little job, but it's way too high and it doesn't cover, and it's mandatory, and they can cherry pick and all that. Why not have a national insurance? Thank you very much, gentlemen. I think that's what we need to do, just like everywhere else that has mandatory health insurance, a national insurance, especially for these elderly people.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. Thank you very much. I'm told that we have an additional caller as well, so the two final calls for the morning. And again, I want to apologize to Dr. McPhail. Don't know what happened there. It just cut off completely from us. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. We're asking you to be as brief as possible, please, because we're running out of time.
Yeah, good morning. I'm on now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Just a few comments about the labor thing. This is not what I really call about. It's amazing how people on the street know things that government in the office don't know. Because years ago, there was someone working in the government. So anytime I came on and applied for a job in there, it went at 513. And the only one that applicants went through was those of her particular nationality. And this is still going on a lot of jobs in the island. And like you said, the laws are there. It's just they're not being enforced. But one thing I think they should do is have that all companies in the Cayman must have at least 60% Caymanians employed. And that will solve all our labor problems. But, hello?
Yeah, thank you very much, caller, for that. Let's go to the last caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning, O.C.
Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you guys?
Not too
Pretty
bad.
good, thanks.
O.C., I would like to remind the general public and you and Kenneth that when people make the remark that no dredging or nothing went on in the North Sound, a lot of dredging went on in the North Sound here, right, tell you? In 1969, I worked on a dredge, a company by the name of Standard Dredging. I was working on there. Listen, all the way to Kimpton is, all that came from the North Sound. All up there by Governor's Harbour. All that whole stretch go right up there by Snug Harbour. All of that came from the North Sound, you hear what I tell you? And matter of fact, they had dredging in South Sound, but that was a different company, I think. All of the property where the rugby is, all of them houses built on the offices, not the seaside, on the other side. All of that was dredge work. Another company did that.
And your old man worked for Tepotourin?
Well, we did. They did the canal.
Yeah, the canal. Yes, yeah.
That was inland. We out from inland, go out to the North Sound.
Yep.
You understand? But we were pumping something like 5,000 cubic yards every 8 hours on land. With all of those mangroves and everything that have been. That's why if I was to recommend anybody building a house down there, the least they should try to do is to use some piling that you could put down in the so it looked like a solid area, but underneath it is ruined mangroves covered up with marl. You hear what I tell you? So when people make the remark, there was no dredging in the North Sound. It was a lot of dredging. You hear what I tell you?
Yep.
I worked on the dredge, the one that was working in the north. So
thank you very much, caller. Sorry, we have to leave you there because we have to go now. I just have a few seconds for Mr. Kenneth Bryan to make some closing remarks as well. Mr. Bryan.
Thank you, OC. It was a pleasure to be here. But just before I go, I want to address one of the callers, Miss Sandra Hill, better known as Sandra Catron. I think she made some very solid points, and I was really blown away by her contribution. But she's a very intelligent person, so by all means, I shouldn't be surprised. I want to thank you for the opportunity to be on the show. I think we covered a few things. I wish we could have covered some more. But right now, I want people to focus on tomorrow's meeting. I'm having, for those who have not heard in the earlier part of the show, I will be having a town hall political meeting at the Georgetown Town Hall at 7:30 tomorrow. That's Thursday, the 11th of this month. The Honorable Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Opposition Leader, as Mr. Arden McLean and myself, we will all be there discussing the cruise piers and cargo projected project by government. It is not supposed to be a debate. It's supposed to be an open opportunity to have dialogue about some concerns in the community. It's an opportunity, particularly, but not limited to, my constituents of Georgetown Central, for them to come and hear differing views of each side, as well as to potentially ask questions about concerns that they have. So all Georgetown Central voters, please, it's important. This meeting is specifically for you, but not limited to you. Anybody in the country can come, but I need you to come so you can be informed. The port itself, the whole base of the port is in our constituency. And from an environmental perspective, if there was to be something wrong in a bad way, we would be directly the ones who are most impacted. So please, I beg of you to come. If you have any questions, tomorrow night is the time to do it. OC, it's always a pleasure to be on your show. I thank you for the opportunity, and I expect to see you at the meeting tomorrow as well. Again, Thursday, tomorrow, 7:30, Georgetown Town Hall, political meeting on the cruise, piers, and cargo project presented by government. The Honorable Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Opposition Leader, and myself will be speaking about the topic. Hopefully, we can find the solutions for the future. Thank you.
And I want to thank you, Mr. Bryan, for being on the show this morning as well. I want to thank our listening and viewing audience for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, whether it be an office cubicle or if you're working in the outdoors. I also want to thank our sponsor, Cayman Airways. They are now offering daily non-stop flights from Grand Cayman to New York City starting this December. So call Cayman Airways reservation on 949-2311. Contact a travel agent or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your flights today. Direct flights to New York daily starting this December. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling, Drain, Ebanks at 12 noon for Talk Today. And I just want to say a little bit more about your radio station, Radio Cayman. There are some people out there who refer to Radio Cayman as a government-sponsored radio station. Radio Cayman belongs to the people of the Cayman Islands. It is your radio station, not a government-sponsored radio station, Cayman-sponsored radio station. So have a great day, and as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking and pension needs, call or visit a Fidelity branch today. Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. And Cayman Pharmacy Group, with locations in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. And Seaboard Marine. With over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling Seaboard Marine at 949-4977.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Bracken, Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.